Ich glaube, wir brauchen eine Veränderung, eine echte Veränderung. Dieses Stück heißt Real Change. Global crash is spreading like an all-consuming cancer. The whole world's deep in debt, and no one has an answer. Governments galore are giving money, men gazillions, saying business just as usual, while ignoring our opinions. And I say, real change. Real change. G20, G50, G129. They're desperate for solutions, but they're running out of time. Another global summit in Jakarta or Dakota can't stop the global warming or cut the jobless quota. And I say, real change. Real change. Real change is what we need. Real change. On that I think we're agreed. Real change. Rising up from the ground. Real change. And not just messing around. Real change. To save our planet Earth. Real change. For all that we're worth. Real change. Let's make no mistake. We have to stand together if we really want to make a real change. 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 They're clamoring for war at the sedate United Nations, campaigning for a roadmap to self-annihilation. The weapons biz is booming and there's profit celebration, while violence is a part of almost all kids' education. And I say, real change. Real change. Real change. It's time to tell it straight. Real change. There isn't time now to wait. Real change. The system's got it wrong. Real change. We knew it all along. Real change. Nothing less will do. Real change. For me and for you. Real change. This is my call. Let's do the economics in the interest of all with real change. Real change. Real change. Real change. Real change. Profit is not real change. The motivation we've got, real change. An end to rich and poor, real change. What are we waiting for? Real change. Black investment in schools, real change. And let's invent all the tools, real change. bankers think that they're smart, but the capitalist party's over and we need a new start with real change. Well, that's what we say, real change. We want it today, real change, and we're not going